Don't give our audience the finger.
I didn't. You did. There we go. Welcome to the Week 11 Fantasy Football Pregame Show, brought to you by BlueDuckFantasy.com. That's the site. Check it out. Matt, welcome back.
Thank you.
How many weeks in a row have you won the Sunday Showdown now? 5? It was 3-2 at one point.
Okay, then
I think it's 7-3 now? It was 6-3 last week, so 7-3. What a run. That's 5 in a row. The streak ends today, though. I'm just letting you know, right? Your 5 times champ in a row is done. Let's talk about the inactives today.
Inactives or just everybody?
Dak's dancing.
Okay, so for inactive, we learned Will Fuller's going to be out. Ty isn't really new news. Adam Thielen's out. For inactive players, that's pretty much it. Lev Bell is in. Amari Cooper is in. Keep them in your lineups. And Austin Hooper is out, but we knew that a long time ago.
And Kittle's not officially out, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Although he's probably out.
That was weird how that story broke out.
Yeah, that he just refuses to keep him, to say that he was out for sure. But anyways, I don't see him playing. He was doubtful, so
yeah,
I doubt he goes. No weather to report today. Everything looks good. It doesn't look sunny, but it doesn't look like it's going to be overly windy or rain or snow. It just looks like it's going to be cloudy everywhere. So let's get right into our rankings gaps. Talk about the players that one of us is high on and the other not so much. And just pulling it up here. All right, first on the list is Mr. Carson Wentz, who goes up against the number 1 defense, the New England Patriots. Matt, you like him still? You're not fazed by this New England defense?
Well, he's number 9, so he's still a startable player for me. This was prior to the Alshon being ruled out.
So how far would you drop him with the news that Alshon's?
Not a ton. Like, he'd still be probably around 11 or 12. I'd still keep him startable.
Okay.
They're going to have to put up points. Their running game isn't very good.
Jordan Howard out.
Jordan Howard is out as well. They're going to be passing.
You know Jai is probably going to play today.
Yeah, that doesn't matter to me. They're going to have to put up points. Wentz is a good enough player that he can get it done with average wide receivers, and he's still got his good tight ends. I'm not too concerned. New England's defense isn't as good as their number 1 ranking says it is.
Who will lead the Eagles in reception yards today?
I'm going to say Zach Ertz.
Okay.
That seems like they're in
But you don't think that New England's going to focus on taking away Zach Ertz?
Yeah, they might try.
Because Zach Ertz hasn't been the monster that he's been in years past, at least last year.
But Philly probably used their bye to find ways to get involved in the offense.
Okay, I have him ranked 16th. I wouldn't start him. I'd start Derek Carr over him. A fair bit of quarterbacks with better matchups. I even have Kyle Allen ahead of him. So I would start Kyle Allen against Atlanta. I don't buy that defense. What they did to the Saints isn't going to happen again.
No, I don't buy that defense either.
That's the only quarterback we have to talk about. Your love of Carson Wentz. Moving on to running backs here. First up on the docket is Leonard Fournette, who I almost made a ballsy sit this week. He's at Indy. That Indy defense looks a lot better than it has. I think this will be a low-scoring game, maybe something like 17-14. I have Fournette as an 18, so he's startable, but you could have a couple backs better than him. I'm not sure where my Brian Hill ranking is. I think it's probably in that range. I would probably start Fournette over Hill, but I definitely have some guys that are ahead of that. I'm just going to take a look at my rankings on BlueDuckFantasy.com. Matt, you do love him this week. You have him at 7. You're not worried about anything?
No, he's been a very good PPR player this year. He's getting about 4 to 6 catches a game. It's going to add up on his points.
Yeah, that's something that we haven't seen in the past from him, and it's nice to see. TJ Yeldon had that role while he was there and was pretty effective in that role, actually.
Yeah, but that's an element that he's added to his game. He's a bell cow, so he's going to get about 25 touches in the game.
Easily.
His touchdowns have been down. That's the only reason he's been down this year. But if he gets a touchdown, he's going to be, I'd say, at least 20-point player in PPR.
Okay. I'm just going to look over some names that I have ahead of him. I have a couple guys who are questionable to play, Damian Williams and David Montgomery. I have Ingram. I have Austin Eckler in PPR. And I think we both have oh, no, you have Devin Singletary down at 18, but I have Devin Singletary really high at 10. He's in my DFS lineups. Check out the DFS articles on BlueDogFantasy.com.
He's actually in mine as well.
Oh, yeah, you copied me on that one. But let's move on to the next player. And this is actually a group of players that we're going to talk about. With Jordan Howard being out, Eagles are going to be a committee. I think a lot of people are going to think Miles Sanders is going to get all the carries, but that's not how the Eagles roll. They're going to put somebody else in there, whether it's Corey Clement or Jay Ajayi. It's going to be some type of a split.
I can't see it being Ajayi. They signed him on Wednesday, Thursday?
Yesterday.
Yeah, whatever day it was.
He hasn't been on the team very long, but he's a former running back for the team.
Yeah, I know he'll know the playbook a little bit, but
same coach.
I just can't see him being in football ready shape. Maybe he might get 3 or 4 carries. I can't see it being much more than that. You're probably right. Clement or somebody will get in because Sproles is out too, right? So.
Do they still have Smallwood? I don't think they still have
Smallwood.
Smallwood.
I don't even. He's somewhere.
I have some breaking news that's completely not related to this that we're going to get to in a second. We're just going to finish up on Jordan Howard's situation. With him out, I saw Miles Sanders ranked 22 overall in a half-point PPR format. I think that's fairly high. Would you start Miles Sanders over Brian Hill? I would not.
They'd be really close for me.
I don't believe it. I don't think they're going to give him all the carries. But this could be the week where they finally say, listen, we spent a second-round draft pick on this guy. Let's give him the carries. It's also a tough D. I'm not opposed to starting him, but I see him more as a flex right now, Miles Sanders, in the 25 to 30 range, especially in PPR. He's a good PPR flex, even though you'd rather have usually a running back or a wide receiver there in PPR. Go ahead and plug Miles Sanders into your flex.
If you have a pass catching back in PPR, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what he's proven to be. And he gets big yardage through the air as well, so he could see, he could get over 100 total yards with 5 or 6 catches and be a great game. But he could end up getting 15 touches at most, with Clement getting 10 and Ajayi getting 5.
Couple, yeah.
So, breaking news: I didn't realize that Deion Kane was on the Colts practice squad, but he's now on the Steelers.
Oh.
So
exciting.
Well, not really, but still bad quarterback situation there, and not the best quarterback situation in Indy.
I guess his Juju and Deontay Johnson went out.
Yeah, and the Deontay hit did not look very good.
Neither did the Myles Garrett.
Do you want to talk about that? Your thoughts on that?
No, I'm glad he got suspended for the year.
Yeah. I thought it was really quick to hand it down, and I think that's kind of what they wanted to do from a business standpoint, to be like, we don't mess around, we suspend people.
I didn't like Pouncey being suspended for 3 games.
Well, for kicking him, and
I was all for him not getting a suspension.
I mean, I think when you start stomping on someone's face, you're gonna have to get suspended. You can't happen
Sorry, it was not.
You can't go on a deserved basis. If he had punched him, I think they probably would have let it go.
Well, he did punch him.
But I think the stomp is what got him 3 games. When you're looking to stomp,
it was not a stomp. It was more like a kick.
He didn't connect with anything.
No, and
the helmet was on too, so it was just hurting.
It didn't hurt Garrett at all.
No.
And I was actually quite surprised. I can't remember his name now. It escapes me that the other Browns player got suspended for a game too. That came and knocked Rudolph over.
Well, Rudolph didn't have a helmet. And he hit him when he didn't have a helmet.
Yeah.
That's where the suspension comes in for that. And Rudolph was away from everyone. He wasn't near Garrett at the time.
Yeah.
And you just came and just hit him. Got to protect the quarterbacks. Can't hit quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a bizarre. Why was Garrett even on the field at that time? He's trying to pad his stats, right? He's trying to get another sack, and now he's done for the year.
Yeah. And on DFS and CBS. He's trying to beat you.
Yeah, well, he didn't. He got 1 point.
Oh, he should have got points for swinging a helmet. I think that's a new rule for next year. There was a similar play like that in the CFL there this year.
Yeah, he only got 1 game.
Only got 1 game. It was a quarterback.
I think that's a different, right? A quarterback swinging a helmet.
And I don't think he actually hit the player he was. I don't remember. I know that there was something similar. But anyway, if you're interested, go look it up on YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a video of it somewhere.
Yeah, gone for the year. It hurts Cleveland. Like they said, they won, but they lost.
Yeah.
Who do you think? Does he think any of those teams have a chance at the wild card now with all the injuries to Juju and James Conner just can't stay healthy?
No, I don't even know how you honestly start him and again when he goes into the lineup for fantasy.
He'd have to miss a couple games, but his value, even in the offseason, he's going to be somebody you're looking to pick in the 4th or maybe 5th round come next year. He's going to be borderline top 20 back.
Yeah, it's really strange because he was that first early second.
Yeah, top 15 pick. Yeah. But let's move on here. We're going to talk about the Chicago Bears running backs. We're going to assume that Montgomery's going to play here for this. I have him ranked at 11. Matt, you're not feeling it that much. You have him down at 19. Mr. Black also lower at 18. I think this is a good matchup. I know the Rams look to be pretty good against the run, but I don't think that defense is very good against the run. And they've been feeding Montgomery 25 running attempts per game.
Yeah.
So I'm really high on him. I think that he's kind of the key to that offense right now because Trubisky sucks. So they're going to have to run and try to keep the ball away from the Rams if they want a chance to win this game because they can't win a shootout.
No, he's a startable player.
For
sure. Teams are going to focus on him. They're not going to be scared of Trubisky beating them, especially with Jalen Ramsey now. Rams is going to be on Robinson, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
it's going to shut him down pretty much, and they don't have any other good receivers that are going to beat him. And now Trey Burton's on IR, so they're not worried about the tight end.
Not that they were.
I know.
I mean, if anything, that just gives more playing time to tight ends that could actually make a difference. And leading with this Montgomery thing, I have Tariq much lower than everybody else. I'm at 38. He's a sit for me. You have him at 30, and Mr. Black has him at 28. So these are high flex for Mr. Black, a flex play for you, but a sit for me, Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, he's just someone that you can kind of rely on for 5-6 catches, even if the yardages aren't there. Like you said, you prefer to have a wide receiver there, but Tariq is somebody that fits the bill if you need a PPR flex play. The buys, right? People get in trouble with buys, so it's okay start. Might get a touchdown.
Sit Cohen. Moving on, Austin Eckler at the Chargers. Matt, you're quite low on him in PPR. You got him at 24, so borderline start for you. Definitely a high flex. Myself, I have him at 13. Mr. Black has him at 16. Do you see this game going just more Melvin Gordon's way?
Gordon, yeah. They're going to try to run and run and run and run.
Okay, so I'm thinking that as well, but I'm also thinking that they're going to try to be a little bit sneaky about running, and they're going to throw a lot of short passes to Eckler as well, because you have about a 90% completion rate on those passes. So the clock's going to keep running. I think both of the running backs are going to get used a lot. We talked about it on the Wednesday show. I don't see Mike Williams being a big factor in this game. He's at best a flex in a PPR league. In this matchup, I think we all have him at around the 30 mark. Yeah, so not somebody that we're really interested in. But I do think Eckler will have a good game in PPR. So if you got him, make sure you got him in your lineup, even if it's just at the flex.
Yeah, he's still startable. 24.
Yep.
Two running back league, you're probably starting him.
Yeah, the only thing is it depends on who you drafted. Eckler would have been a later pick. Wasn't somebody
not necessarily with Gordon's situation.
How high do you think he went in drafts?
He went 3rd round in one of mine.
That's a redraft?
It was pretty crazy.
Wow, that's pretty early. I would have said 5th or 6th.
Yeah. No, I know.
So you could have had 2 running backs before that you could be leaning on. Moving on here to the wide receivers, and no surprise here, Matt's about to shit on John Brown.
Wow.
As you have at 25.
I did not know we were introducing profanity into the show here.
Yep, we are. they keep asking me if the content is valid for children, and I keep saying no. So, guess we're going to get a PG-13 rating.
Yeah,
sorry, sponsors, if you're not happy with it, but that's kind of the way it goes. John Brown, you have him at 25, outside of the starting range. He's facing Miami, which is ranked 24th against wide receivers. Myself and Mr. Black both have him at 14.
Do it, John Brown. Show me I'm wrong. He hasn't done it yet. His numbers are bad. Lately, in good matchups, John Brown has not been good. I had him that 1 week in DFS, and
you're still bitter about that.
Well,
the 1 week that he.
No, he's been bad. I'm pulling up his stats right now, actually. In the last, so he's had pretty good matchups against Miami. Okay, so he did okay against Miami last time because he got a touchdown.
I think he does okay every week.
But last 3 games, 5 for 54, 4 for 76, 5 for 77.
Those are decent weeks. They're just missing a touchdown.
Yeah, they're okay. And 25 makes you're okay if you're 25. You're not 14 doing that kind of nonsense.
But this is the week he's going to get it going.
Well, we'll see.
Traquan Smith, player who's in my DFS lineups this week. I have him ranked at 38, so he's not even a start.
No.
But you and Mr. Black are way out on this one. You guys have him at 57, 64, so he's not even a rosterable player this week for you.
Not really.
I think that he's going to step up and be the number 2 here. I think it's going to take several weeks for him to get into the flex or the top 35, top 30 conversation. But I think it starts this week with this cake matchup against the worst pass defense in the league, the Buccaneers. The Saints were terrible last week.
Yep.
And they need to right that this week. And they're going to score a lot. This is going to be a high-scoring game. Get a piece of that in your DFS lineup, whichever way you go. But I'm just saying, watch out for Traquan Smith. He is coming. He's healthy. He's missed half the year.
Yes.
And he's coming in. Ted Ginn is okay. Like, he can stretch the field out and open things up for everybody else. But
that's my concern with Traquan, is Ted Ginn.
Traquan's coming. He outsnapped him last week. But let's move on to Christian Kirk. Matt, you have him at 22. You got some recency bias here? What's going on?
He's good.
He didn't have a touchdown until last week. He had missed a couple weeks. He got 3 last week.
Was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
That was last week.
Oh, yeah, okay, so maybe it is a little recency. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be the top receiver for the Cardinals, obviously, going forward here. He's a pass catcher. He's not like one of those guys that gets you 4 catches for 3 touchdowns or something random. He is a possession guy, too.
Yeah, he gets decent volume.
He can get like 7 or 8 catches.
It's a tough matchup as well at San Francisco.
It isn't good, no. They're going to have to... I think they're going to have to put up some points. So their running game is terrible. They're going to be passing.
You don't think Drake is going to run all over San Francisco like he did last time?
No, I think San Fran's going to be more prepared for that this week.
Without Quan Alexander?
Without Quan Alexander.
All right, if you say so. And if you are watching, make sure you leave a comment. Let us know you're here. Ask us a question. Tell us a joke. Ask Matt to do the DJ Shark song. One of the, whatever. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. We do this every Sunday. Moving on to Tyrell Williams, who I am ridiculously high on this week. I have him at 11th, this cake matchup with Cincinnati. I think this is going to be a big day for Josh Jacobs. He's going to be top 5, but I think that early on, Tyrell Williams is going to get his. Darren Waller is going to get his. They want to get Derek Carr's confidence as high as possible with these matchups. They're fighting for a playoff spot. They're right in and their schedule is nice. They get Cincinnati this week, Miami next week, and I can't remember who they have after that, but they got some nice matchups, and they got a great chance to make the playoffs. Tyrell Williams at 11. I'm probably a little high, but that's just kind of where he fell in my rankings. You have him at 20. Mr. Black has him at 24. He's basically must start this week, at least must flex.
Yeah, he's a startable player. Like he hasn't been that great since he came back from his foot injury. That's my concern with Tyrell. I think he had the touchdown the first week he came back, but hasn't been that great. But again, he's still a good matchup, playable player for today for sure.
Yeah, should be good. Josh Reynolds, the last player we're going to talk about before we go on to talking about something else. Rams wide receiver. I'm at 32, so he's a borderline, like a flexible play. But you and Mr. Black are way down on him. You have him at 54. Mr. Black has him at 42. Yes, this is a tougher matchup against Chicago. Goff hasn't been great. This is probably going to be a very girly-ish day.
It's just going to be low scoring, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
How do you start a number 3 wide receiver in a low scoring game? That's my question. Because you got Kupp and Woods ahead of him for sure.
Yeah.
Everett's even ahead of him. So I couldn't play him to this week.
No, and again, I have him at 32, so you need to have the right situation for him to be flexible in it. But I think people are just really down on him because he's been decent. Like he's had over 70 yards or something in both of the games that Cooks hasn't played in, or the one that he left and the one last week. So I think he'll be decent as well today. 3rd wide receiver. Yeah, on a low-scoring team, but Kupp had 0 last week, which was surprising.
Yeah.
There might be something seriously wrong with him.
I think the Steelers just game plan for him.
They make it him?
Yeah. Okay. I think he'll get going. I think I have him in the top 10 again this week.
I'm not sure why I have him. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for the rankings gap. Now we're going to talk about, we had 4 separate videos talking about our top 5 players rest of season at each position: quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and tight end. was a couple weeks ago for at least one of them, and last week for the other one. Any changes that you think that you'd want to make to any of your rankings? We'll start with the easy one, Matt. You got yourself Austin Hooper in your top 5 tight ends.
Yeah, he's coming out.
He's got to go out.
Well, yeah, he's injured.
He's not going to score more than 11.7 points because that's all he had. He's out 2 to 4 weeks, about a month.
Yeah.
He's probably going to miss most of the season, so we were going with total score here. That's why we took in buys into consideration, injuries. So now that he's injured, got to get him out of there. Who would you put in?
I would put in Zach Ertz. That's what I'm missing.
So now our top 5s are identical.
Yeah, pretty much.
Copycat. No, continue. I didn't hear anything.
No, Ertz is the next best tight end out of that group. Like,
what about Gerald Everett?
nah, Ertz is better.
What about... Yeah, there's really nobody close.
No, there's nobody else in that discussion.
No. Mark Andrews, I guess, would be the next guy.
Yeah.
And he's been
Graham.
2. Jimmy Graham. Jeez. Okay, move on to wide receiver here.
This is tougher.
I think I'm good at mine. I have nothing to change.
Yeah. No, I think I'm going to leave mine as well. The only one I would consider moving would be Adams, but no.
Yeah, so we all both have Michael Thomas, Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, and Julio Jones. They're a different one. I have Godwin and you have Adams.
Yeah.
You are sticking with Godwin.
No, I'm sticking with Adams.
You're sticking with Adams, I'm sticking with Godwin. There's really nobody, like Cooper Kupp's 0 performance really makes it so that you're not going to consider him.
No, there isn't.
There's really nobody that stands out that should be in this.
No, and the only thing that might change that is, I mean, someone goes off and has like a 3 touchdown day, and it's like, well.
Yeah, but even still, like, looking forward. Running backs. We each have Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, who may be injured, Ezekiel Elliott, and Dalvin Cook. My number 5 was Josh Jacobs. Your number 5, Alvin Kamara.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you got that one right and I got that one wrong.
The Kamara one?
Yeah. I wouldn't change any of the other top 4.
But depending on what happens with Saquon Barkley,
Yeah.
he...
I don't think he's going to miss time.
No, he shouldn't with the bye, but he might just not be 100%.
Yeah.
13 for 1. He salvaged his day in a PPR league with the catches last week.
Another thing with Barkley, if you're the Giants and you're hurt at all, like what's the point of putting him out there?
Yeah, why injure him? So he's someone that I could see myself taking out, but I don't know who I would put in for him. And the reason I'm taking him out is simply because why risk it?
Yeah.
That's the thought process there for me if I'm a GM or a coach.
I mean, Aaron Jones could sneak his way in there too.
And you know I don't like Aaron Jones.
No, but he's a touchdown machine.
I'd probably be looking at either Fournette or Henry would be the guys that I'd be looking at to put in there.
I could see Henry.
I don't know who has the better schedule, but I would put one of those 2 guys in.
And take out Saquon?
And take out Saquon. And I wouldn't put him in Saquon's spot. Everybody would move up, and then the other guy would slide in at number 5.
Yeah.
So one of those 2 backs there.
I'm going to leave those guys out, just,
Quarterbacks. Drew Brees had the huge down day. We both have him there. We both have Winston. We both have Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. And I have Watson and Matt Ryan.
Watson currently has 0 points because he had the bye, which Patrick Mahomes will also have to deal with. But Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, Jameis Winston, and Lamar Jackson are all the way through. You think about putting Lamar Jackson into this?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think who I'd take out for LJ. I think Breeze is going to bounce back, so it wouldn't be him. I'm not going to take Watson out after I've had his bye. It would honestly probably be Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan
out.
Out.
LJ in.
LJ in. Would you put LJ in at the 3 spot?
I would put LJ...
Or at the 1 spot? Because he currently is number 1.
He is currently number 1, but I'm not going to put him that high. I would put him... I just like Jameis' schedule so much.
Looks like the cool man is back in. Chad, welcome back. Make sure to hit that like button. Morning, gentlemen. Trash tight end question. Half-point PPR. Kyle Rudolph or Jason Witten. I think that's Jason Witten, and it's pretty easy. Talked about Kyle Rudolph being not a bye this week after his 2-touchdown game where he had 14 yards. Irv Smith is the better tight end there, and he's not startable. So for me, that's easy. It's Jason Witten.
I like Witten too. I was watching a fantasy show, which will remain nameless, and they were talking about how Rudolph is a good play this week.
No.
Which I think is weird.
You can name the show if it's terrible.
It's NFL Fantasy Live.
I've never heard of it, but
and
this is the only show that I watch.
Yeah.
The only show you need to watch. Rudolph is garbage. Do not start him.
I think I put Lamar right in where Matt Ryan is there, number 3.
Number 3, by Ryan. Hello.
LJ.
All right, but we've coasted through that pretty quickly.
Chad gave us the thumbs up for Jason Witten.
Thanks for stopping by, Chad.
One of his favorite players in the league, I'm sure.
It's time for the Sunday Showdown. The game that I have not won since, September? I don't even know. Did you...
Yeah, me, September.
Sounds about right. You've won since October started. But now it's time for me to turn it around. The list of players, I'm going to go over it. Quarterbacks available in the A group, Dak Prescott, Drew Brees. In the B group, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins. In the C group, some all-stars here.
Nice.
Jeff Driscoll, Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, Kittle is screwing over a lot of players right now, Chad. You're not alone.
And if you had tuned in last week, we said what you'd do if you had Kittle. I said wait and see. And if he doesn't go, grab Jacob Hollister and plug him in. And he was pretty good. Almost had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That one throw that Russ missed it by this much. That guy picked it off. That was hitting Hollister, and that was going to be his second touchdown. Running backs in the A group. We got some studs here. Josh Jacobs, Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara. In the B group, some okay guys. Royce Freeman, Adrian Peterson, Mark Ingram, Duke Johnson, Kalen Ballage, Latavius Murray, and then always the all-important C group where you got to get the best you can out of there.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards, Rex Burkhead, and Peyton Barber. Big name in the C group today. Wide receiver in the A group, DJ Moore in the A group.
Surprising.
He's been a B guy all season. Amari Cooper also there with Julio Jones. In the B, the 10 players at wide receiver are D.D. Westbrook, Marquise Hollywood Brown, Chris Conley, Tyler Boyd, Ted Ginn Jr., Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Tyrell Williams, Kenny Stills, and Devontae Parker. And rounding out the C group, Alan Hearns, who just signed a 2-year extension with the Dolphins.
I thought that was a really strange contract, by the way.
All I know that he's done this year is get knocked out of a game.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Against Dallas. Alex Erickson is back in the C group for the second week. And B.C. Johnson in the C group for the first time. First time we've seen his name.
Nice.
And for tight ends in the A group, believe it or not, Jared Cook with 2 of the best tight ends, Kelsey and Henry, going on Monday night. Those guys aren't included in the list. We don't do Monday nights. We don't do Sunday nights. Injured. George Kittle's injured. So somehow Jared Cook made it into the top 5. Vance McDonald might have been ahead of him come Thursday. So in the B group, we have Jason Witten, who Chad asked about, and Darren Fells. And in the C group, Blake Jarwin, the backup tight end for Dallas, and Tyler Eifert, the off-injured tight end for Cincinnati. So Matt, you won basically forever. Do you want to have the first pick, or do you want me to have the first pick?
You know what? I will let you decide if you want first or second pick.
I don't really care.
Well, you pick.
All right, I will flip this coin. If it's tails, I will pick, and if it's heads, I will let you pick.
All right. Fair enough.
Tails.
So which one does that mean? I can't remember.
That means I pick.
All right.
And I will take...
Dun, 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 dun.
Wow.
Like, building up the suspense here. Chad cannot stay on his seat long enough for this.
I'm going to go in a very strange direction here.
Jeff Driscoll.
Tyler Eifert.
Oh, wow, that is almost as weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a strategy this week.
Okay. So Tyler Eifert out of the C group for Ben. All right.
So you should go ahead and pick a tight end now.
Nah, I'm going to leave those alone for a while.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I am going to go with... let's give me... I will go with...
I feel like we need music for the Sunday Showdown.
Like the Jeopardy music?
No, not even. Just like some fun, picky music, like
Fair enough. We could probably add that in.
Maybe just you singing the DJ Chark song over and over again?
I would probably run out of steam.
Well, I think you just have it on a loop and record it once.
Okay. Let's go with... I don't even like him very much this week, but I'm going to go Mark Ingram because I think he's pretty solid at a B. And I'm going to go with... Tyrell Williams at a B as well.
Wow. All right, why don't you give me Tyler Boyd out of the B group. And Josh Jacobs.
I missed him completely.
Okay. No, sorry, Zeke. Give me Zeke.
Zeke.
And Tyler Boyd.
Okay. Sounds good.
Now back to you.
Back to me. I will go with... let's see. I don't like any of those players particularly that much. You need that too. I will go with... Oh boy. I gotta figure out who's the best out of this bad group in the C group here. I will go with... Alex Erickson, who is bad, but that's a good matchup, so we'll see.
So far we picked a lot of Oakland and Cincinnati players.
Yeah, that's a good matchup there.
I didn't realize that I have now Eifert and Boyd, so clearly I think Finley's going to be going off.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, you have Tyrell Williams. You're probably going to take Darren Waller.
I'm not going to take Darren Waller. And we're going to go with... I know what I'm leaving you already, so I will pick Mr. Adrian Peterson at a B.
Okay, I'll take Josh Jacobs.
Okay, out of
the A side. What are you confused about?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
I was writing down Jacobs.
All right.
So what I confused writing down.
Yeah, you looked confused. Yeah. Okay, so let's get some beers in here. I need a B wide receiver, right? Give me Marquise Brown. Should be a high scoring game.
Hollywood.
Put my feet up because I'm about to win the Sunday Showdown for the first time since September.
If I do that, then I gotta go. Okay, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go with Derek Carr.
Okay.
At a B. That fills me up with B. Mm-hmm. And I will select Blake Jarwin as a tight end out of that group, out of the C group.
Interesting tight end pick.
Well, you got Eifert already, so.
I will take I need a wide receiver?
Yeah, you need a quarterback, wide receiver.
Wide receiver in C group. D.D. Westbrook is not going to be picked. Chris Conley is not going to be picked. Ted Ginn, Christian Kirk, Ridley. You know what? Give me Kenny Stills.
There you go.
Kenny Stills.
Kenny Stills with...
Going to go up against Marcus Peters and get the Will Fuller game.
With Will Fuller out, yeah, that's not bad. And I believe you get another...
Are you ready for the most shocking pick ever in the Sunday Showdown?
Is it Dwayne Haskins?
It is Dwayne Haskins.
Wow.
At quarterback. Okay. Against the awful Jets defense that Donnie Dimes lit up for 4 touchdowns.
So you got your C's.
Mm-hmm.
I will take Mr. I'm going to go with Julio.
Okay.
Out of A.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to pick you a B squad player here. Let's see. Is it going to be... Well, don't know how he snuck into this list, but you're getting Mr. Chris Conley. With a B.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We've got a question here on Instagram. Someone's asking Galladay or Debo?
You gotta go Galladay. Again, I mean, yes, Stafford being out is bad for Galladay for sure.
But Sanders being in is also bad for the man in the back.
Yeah.
Debo Samuel in the black.
But Galladay's still, like, at worst, like a top 25.
Yes, but at the same time, Galladay is a ballsy sit for me this week. But I'm saying to start Tyler Boyd over him.
Tyler Boyd this week.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd was in the 30 rankings, though. I just think it's a safer start. You know what you're going to get with Boyd. He's going to be a volume guy, whether or not he gets a touchdown. I don't know. I picked him in this game. I like him. But Galladay salvaged his day with that one big catch for a touchdown last week. So, who knows what happens this week. Since Sanders is playing.
Okay. So I have a feeling I know who you're going to take for me in this.
Alvin Kamara.
Wow, that's not who I thought you were going to give me.
Against that tough.
I thought you were going to give me DJ Moore for sure.
No. DJ Moore's going to go off to this week.
Okay, no.
Although I do have Alvin Kamara in a DFS, so I won't be too upset if he goes off. I have DJ Moore and I think both of them. I debated Mari Cooper. Because I think there's going to be a lot of running, but I think they're going to score enough early.
I debated between Cooper and Julio, honestly.
Yeah. No, Alvin Kamara was the gear for you there because I'm hoping that run D can shut him down. But he's probably going to catch a fair bit of passes.
Yeah, he's...
I'm playing both sides. I got him in one of my DFS pools, the one that I posted on Instagram. And now you have him in Sunday Showdown. So.
All right. Well, we'll quickly run down the lineups here, which we actually have quite a bit of time. So Ben has Dwayne Haskins, Ezekiel Elliott, Brandon Jacobs, Josh Jacobs.
I went running back. That was your strategy last week, right? Go big running backs, or one of the weeks you won. So I'm just trying to copy your strategies.
No, that wasn't last week. That was the week I had Cook and McCaffrey.
Yeah, worked out well for you.
Anyway, Tyler Boyd, Hollywood Brown, Kenny Stills at wide receiver, Tyler Eifert at tight end, and Chris Conley at flex. I'm running out Derek Carr, quarterback. Running backs, Mark Ingram and Adrian Peterson. Wide receivers, Julio, Tyrell Williams, and Alex Erickson. Tight end, Blake Jarwin, and flex is Alvin Kamara.
Make sure to leave a comment letting us who you think is going to win. Speaking of comments, we got one from the man himself.
Mountain Man.
Mike Williams, Dede Westbrook, or Cobb in a 1-point PPR. I don't think it's Dede. I think you can cross Dede
I still like Mike Williams there.
I'm sure it is Mike Williams, but yeah, I'd go Mike Williams. I can't trust Randall Cobb.
No, not with those.
Even with that matchup, I think there's going to be a lot of running in that game. Mike Williams, it should be a high-scoring game. They're going to have to pass at some point. It should be the highest-scoring game of the weekend, unless the Saints-Bucks can top it. So, Mountain Man.
Unless that field is terrible again.
Mike Williams.
Whatever.
Thanks for the comment. Make sure you hit that like button. I know you're already a subscriber. Appreciate that. All right, Matt, that's going to wrap it up for the Sunday Showdown. So why don't you talk about something that you love or hate about fantasy football?
Okay.
I'll start.
Thank you.
Kickers. Kickers.
Okay, yeah.
And I stole it from you.
I hate kickers.
I gave you the opportunity. We both hate kickers.
You caught me off guard.
Why are kickers in this? Like, I understand like you want to get people points, but kickers score points, but who cares?
That's too random. I don't like it. I find no strategy with kickers.
No, like even when you try to develop a strategy for a kicker, you're like, which offense is going to stall the most and allow their kicker to kick? So it's not like they stall at the 1 and then go for it on 4th down.
Right.
They have to stall in like the 10. So who has a terrible red zone offense, but also has a good offense? Yeah. And then you're just overthinking who the kicker is. I have people ask me, who should I have a kicker? I'm like, I don't know. I've had the same kicker all year. Yeah. I'll drop him when he gets a bye and pick somebody else up. And I may look to pick him back up the next week, but I'm not using waiver priority on him. So if somebody grabs him, somebody grabs them.
And yeah, and then the leagues that you get longer field goals, you get more points for longer field goals. It's too crazy. I just don't like it.
Yeah, kickers. I'm not a big fan of defenses, but at least there's some strategy in defenses where you can kind of set it up week to week.
You can, yeah.
And again, I prefer if you're going to play with defenses, and I'm sure the Mountain Man would agree. Get some IDP players in there, count some tackles, count some sacks, count some picks. At least that way there's a way to know who the players are, because that's what fantasy football is about. It's about building a team of players. Kicker, nobody cares about the kicker.
The thing,
Kicker's good enough.
The other thing about Team D is if you're susceptible to a turnover from the offense and they get the ball at like the 5 while you're getting points scored on you.
Yeah, and
Not really the defense's fault.
And when you have defense, the scoring can be so drastically different from one league to the other.
Yeah.
It could be all about points allowed, or it could be all about turnovers. Sacks can count for a whole bunch. You could have a situation where you just need, like, return yards is important because you get the DST instead of the defense, right? So it makes it way too complex to try and track and help people out with who the better defense is because you don't know what the schedule's like or what their scoring is like. But we do have a question from Hamburger Helper, hilarious name. I'm hoping it's actually the brand Hamburger Helper that's asking a question here. Tariq Cohen, David Johnson, or Latvius Murray, aka Latavius Murray. It's funny you call him Latvius. Pick 2 in a full PPR. Wow, I mean, that David Johnson thing is tough.
I think you have to pick DJ as one of them.
Do you though?
I'm just double checking.
I think Tariq Cohen gets in here, even though I don't particularly care for him this week. I don't think Latavius Murray is going to do much against that stout Tampa defense, and I don't see him catching too many passes. So I'd sit Latavius Murray, gamble on David Johnson, and then Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, I've got David Johnson and Tariq as the highest out of those 3. You actually have Murray ahead of Cohen.
By how many spots?
8.
8 spots, really? I was really down on Cohen. And that's in PPR?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to swap that. I'm going to go with Tariq Cohen and David Johnson. I don't see Latavius Murray doing much of anything today.
Yeah.
Under 50 total yards, 2 or 3 catches. Yeah, Aaron Jones being out hurts you, but Aaron Jones being in has also hurt lineups in some weeks. Thanks for the question.
Not many.
Thanks for the question, Hamburger Helper. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah, so Tariq and David Johnson, to clarify, are both of our picks on that one.
Yeah, Tariq Cohen, David Johnson. So, we got kickers out of the way. What else is something you want to talk about, fantasy, that you love or hate?
I really don't like when people, so I'll say I hate when people reject a trade offer without an explanation. Or no counter or something. Like,
yeah.
Unless it's that far off, like that there's no interest whatsoever.
The only comment would be a rude comment, so sometimes it's better to leave no comment on one of those.
I feel like I don't offer those kind of trades where it's just ridiculous on one side, so I don't understand why people just...
And I think a good response to getting one of those trades is offering an equally horrid trade back as your response.
And that tells you, okay, we're way off, so...
Instead of saying... That is a terrible trade offer, but I'm happy to say that not even close and reject the trade and send that back. But sometimes I'm feeling like, all right, this guy wants to be dumb. I'll be dumb right back.
To be fair, some apps don't allow you to leave comments on them.
That is true.
But if that happens, then you can find a way to find a computer and get on, or send them a trade back or something to that extent.
Question from Instagram. Quarterback question: Sam Darnold or Jacoby Brissett?
I think I'm going... I believe I have Darnold in that situation. Neither is a great option.
It's definitely going to be Brissett for me. I do not trust Sam Darnold.
Yeah, you like the Washington D this week.
I do. I think that D has gotten a lot better. They're coming off the bye as well.
Washington? I'm not even 100% sure on that, actually. I try not to pay attention to them if I don't have to. Okay, yeah, so I've got Darnold ahead, and actually so do you. So if you're going to stick to your rankings...
I'm not.
Alright.
Because he's playing Jacksonville, so I don't really care much for that matchup. And yeah, Washington is coming off the bye. Jacksonville coming off the bye as well. I'm going with Jacoby Brissett over Sam Darnold. I don't trust Sam Darnold. He was good against the Giants, but that was the Giants. So we got about 10 minutes to kill. If you got any questions, make sure to leave them in there. What game are you looking forward to most in the early games today?
I think the Houston-Baltimore game will be pretty exciting. There's a lot of offensive talent there.
Okay, and what game are you looking forward to the least?
I'd have to look at all the games there to know which one is the least exciting.
Well, I'll go through them and then you can kind of pick one. We have the Jets at Washington, the Jaguars at Indy, Cowboys at Detroit, the game you just picked, Falcons at Carolina, the Saints at Tampa, the Broncos at Minnesota, and that's all for the early games. But we do have questions from TS. Kyle Allen or Jimmy G? That's going to be Jimmy G.
Yeah, Jimmy G for me too. Even without Kittle.
Yeah, Kyle Allen should be all right this week. I like him. I think I had him ranked 14th. But Jimmy G was around top 10 for all of us.
And he did really well against Arizona last time they played.
Well, yeah, he did well. Didn't do really well.
4 touchdowns. That's pretty well.
That wasn't against... Oh, against Arizona, sorry. I thought you meant against San Francisco. No, you're right. Tyrell Williams or Hollywood? Another
Jimmy
question
G
from
plays
TS.
for San Francisco.
What's that?
Jimmy G plays for San Francisco.
Yeah, sorry. I was confused about
You are confused.
matchup.
Okay.
Tyrell Williams for sure.
Yeah.
Over Hollywood. So, yeah, TS, Tyrell Williams, and Jimmy G. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if it's you haven't yet. Mountain Man with another question. A dynasty one. Debo Samuel or A.J. Brown?
Wow.
That's going to be the man in the back all day, Debo.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown is linked to poor quarterback play for the foreseeable future.
That can change. So Mariota's not locked in there long term.
Is this his last year? Or did they sign a contract?
I don't think they signed an extension with him.
But so he's on his 5th year like Winston?
I don't recall an extension for Mariota. I could be wrong, but I don't recall seeing them. They definitely didn't do an extension this year.
Well, I'm just looking up the contract here on SportTrack. I just think that's a run first team over there.
Yeah,
and he's had to deal with
change.
Corey Davis, whereas Debo should be the man starting next year.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders likely won't be back there.
Yeah, this is the last year of his contract, so
they could that quarterback situation could change. It could give
it could, but you'd be looking at drafting a rookie, and he's still number 2 in line on a run first team. That's not going to change. I'm sure they're going to get Derrick Henry signed.
Yeah.
So I would go Debo. I like Debo better coming out of the draft. I like the landing spot. Jimmy G's been a solid quarterback. He's not the best, but he's been solid enough to support one wide receiver and George Kittle. I think he could definitely do that.
Jimmy's one of those guys that's better real life though.
True. But he's good enough to support one wide receiver and one tight end.
Yeah.
Whereas whoever they have in
Tennessee
is going to have to support Corey Davis first, unless they somehow let him walk after, was this his 3rd year? This is his 3rd year.
Yeah.
So he'll be there next year. And then A.J. Brown will still be there. I like the talent in A.J. Brown, but you're banking on that situation turning itself around, whereas the Debo situation is already set, and it's looking good for him next year. Even this year, if Sanders is dealing with the injury. But we saw what he could do last week. We saw how strong he is when he has the ball in his hands, how strong he runs with it. Good yard after catch guy. A.J. Brown, very polished wide receiver, just in the wrong situation for him to flourish.
Yeah.
And I don't see them trading him.
No.
And so you have to hope that they get the right quarterback, that they develop him properly, or they put him out there and it's just a hit. So unless you do a lot of Devy research and know who's coming out and who the Titans are going to be taking at quarterback, because they're definitely going to be taking quarterback in this draft. Mariota's done. Tannehill's not the answer.
Unless they find somebody else that...
Cam Newton?
What? So he's going to Kittle off waivers?
You'll have Andrews and Kittle?
That's... I don't understand why someone would drop Kittle.
That's insane. Congratulations. You play with idiots.
Yeah, unless there's very limited bench that...
Even still, you're not dropping a player that you're going to be starting basically every week in the playoffs, rest of the season, who was out 1 week and was supposed to be, he's not even out this week yet.
Yeah.
You have to start Andrews this week, though, for sure. That should be a high-scoring game. He should be decent. And you're not starting Hollywood, you're going with Tyrell, so spreading it around. But yeah, congratulations to you. Maybe it's an 8-team league or something.
Maybe it's a 14 league.
14.
Then I could see Kittle being dropped, maybe.
You got dropped so somebody could pick up Waller or
Yeah.
Andrews. I guess he has Andrews.
10
so.
teams.
10 team, even so, that's not enough. He should still be on every roster.
Kittle, yeah.
Drop for Jared Cook this week.
That's... Yeah.
How deep are your benches, TS? For somebody to be considering that, you have to have somebody on your bench that's worse. You're dropping a backup quarterback if you have one. You're dropping a guy like...
Well, he's saying that person dropped Kittle for Jared Cook.
I know, but I'm wondering how deep the bench is for you to have to make that and not be able to. Like,
Unless you had like Aaron Jones and Barkley and Devontae Adams on your buys and you had to pick somebody to drop, I would probably just run no tight end, honestly.
It depends on your record, though, right? If you need the win, you need the win.
Yeah.
But congratulations on picking that up. 5 minutes before kickoff. Think you're gonna wrap it up?
They have Vernon Davis on the bench. I don't understand that team.
Why wouldn't you drop Vernon Davis for Jared Cook? That's just idiotic. But hopefully you're playing for a lot of money, and hopefully you win your league because you put yourself in a great position with Kittle going forward. Mark Andrews is good, but he's not George Kittle. I think we both had him as our number one tight end prior to the injuries.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Matt, anything to add before we go?
Thanks for watching and listening, and hopefully you're doing both.
That's it.